Hello and welcome to the NFL Pregame Party on Joe's Atmosphere. I am your temporary host, Das Wolfen, the third runner-up to the Andy Reid Lookalike Contest. And with me is Knock. How are you doing today?
Good. So much football last couple of days, and
Oh yeah,
love it. You know when you play a really good game. I'm sure you had this feeling like after you beat Boulder Gate, right?
yeah,
You play a really good game for a long time, like a couple weeks and whatnot, and then it's over, and then you're looking around like John Travolta in Pulp Fiction, where like your hands are in the air and you're like, I don't know what do I do? What do I
yeah,
do now? That's what's going to be after Monday.
yeah. After all the bowl games are gone, well, the main ones anyway.
Yeah.
You'll still have the championship.
I mean, all the big, like all the games. Yeah, it's like we have a couple championship games, and then luckily the playoffs start for the NFL. But still, during the week, I've been loving watching these games. I've watched every single bowl game this year, literally all the way through every game.
Cool. Speaking of which, we'll bring up your breakdown here.
Yeah. So it started on Tuesday. Had the Quick Lane Bowl, Minnesota and Bowling Green. Minnesota was 5-7. They were the 5-7 team to make it, and apparently the only time academics really matters is when you're a 5-7 team. They were the top academic school, the APR, whatever they call it. So they got the nod, and they take care of business in Bowling Green. And then Texas State put a whoop down on Rice in the Server First Responder Bowl, Serve Pro First Responder Bowl. That was good. Kansas in Guaranteed Rate Bowl, Kansas beat up on UNLV. Those are some pretty good games. On Wednesday, you had the Military Bowl, Virginia Tech at Tulane. Virginia Tech whomped Tulane. The Duke's Mayo Bowl, always good seeing the end of that one. West Virginia just definitely beat up on North Carolina. They didn't have was it Drake May? What was his name? Yeah, so May was not in the Mayo Bowl, so that's why they lost. And then you had the USC and Louisville. USC had the kid that they played. I think his name was Johnson. I think he balled out. I think he had six touchdowns and like one interception in this game. They destroyed Louisville. So going into the new year with that kid, they got to feel pretty happy, So I definitely think he'll be the starter in that one next year. Oklahoma State and Texas A&M. It was a pretty good game for the TaxAct Texas Bowl. Oklahoma State took that one. And then we had Boston College and SMU at the Fenway Park. This is pretty cool. It's pretty cool seeing them at a baseball stadium. But Boston College, SMU is coming off a big win. AAC, they're actually joining. They're going to be playing in the same conference as BC next year as they join the ACC. So this will actually be a yearly occurrence, or well, not yearly, but a good chance of them playing almost every other year.
Yeah.
Then you had the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl at Yankee Stadium, another baseball place, and Rutgers and Miami. Rutgers took care of business. It's Coach Schiano. Was the coach of Rutgers, and they gutted that one out. That was an entertaining game. You had the Pop-Tarts Bowl, which was very entertaining. Yeah, Kansas State over NC State. Kansas State took care of business in that one. They had I think a freshman in that one too. I call them rookies, but freshman. And he played really well in that one. And then they ate a humongous Pop-Tart at the end of it. It was very funny. If you guys haven't seen it, go check it out.
The trophy was cool too.
Yeah, no, all these trophies look really cool to me. But so that was fun. I had to watch this the next morning because this was a late game. But the Valero Alamo Bowl, Arizona and Oklahoma. Arizona's going to the Big 12. If they had finished out this year in the Big 12, they would actually be in the 12 teams. So that's their goal next year, to get in the playoffs as the conference champ for Big 12. Since Oklahoma is going over to SEC.
Yep. Along with Texas.
And man, I don't know if you checked out any of those schedules for next year, but they're awesome.
Yeah,
the Big 12
I looked at Missouri,
Washington, and Oregon, and then you got SEC. They're all getting rid of divisions. So, is SEC getting rid of divisions too? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think
they
SEC. I think SEC got rid of their divisions, and they're just going to go off
They
of.
already had. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Big Ten is definitely getting rid of divisions, so that's going to be Oregon, Washington, Penn State. Penn State's probably like, oh shit, man, we had enough trouble with Michigan and Ohio. Now we got to deal with Oregon and Washington. So that's feel bad for them.
Yeah.
Then Friday we had the TaxSlayer Bowl, Gator Bowl. Started with that. Clemson and UK. Clemson. It was a shootout in this one. It was really fun to watch. Clemson gets a field goal at the end of the game, really to win that one. Notre Dame and Oregon State. Notre Dame just destroyed it. Sam Hartman wasn't playing in this one. They had their next man up, and he had a great game. So Oregon State 2 games in a row did not show up. It's unfortunate for them. And then Memphis and Iowa State. This was a pretty decent game. AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Memphis takes this one. That's a pretty big win. That's a group of 5 beating a power team. So
Yeah.
that's a good win for them. And I think that was their 10th win as well. So good for them. We had yesterday. We had the this just shows the non 6 bowl games, so I'll scroll back up for those. But we had the TransPerfect Music Bowl, Maryland. Tua's little brother was not playing in this game, so they had to back up for them, and Auburn just could do nothing offensively. So not even close in this one. A lot of turnovers, a lot of bad football. So Maryland took this one pretty easy. This one was really entertaining. I sent a text over this one. The Barstool's Sports Arizona Bowl feature. I didn't know it at the time, but they featured the Barstool's owner, Dave Agnoy, or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
And he was in the booth the entire game. I guess that's his perk for being the owner of the Barstools. So, and he was cracking me up. Like, this is not the commentary you want in like a big game, like important games, kind of deal.
Yeah.
But in this game, it was perfect because he was going off on them. You idiot! What are you doing? That's such a stupid play. That's so dumb. Like it was like us watching a football game, and actually commenting and getting the guy to comment what we actually think. And it was cracking me up. But Wyoming came back in this one. They had a last-second field goal for the win, and so it was a good win for them. Looks like Toledo had most of the control, but in the fourth quarter, they let it slip away. So Wyoming took this one. But very entertaining commentary on that one. Let me go back to the top. I believe that's where you show that. This is a very fun game to watch right here. Let's see. Let's start with the first one. Missouri.
Yep.
Takes out Ohio. That was especially the first half. That was the battle of the field position. But finally, in the second half, Missouri started going and just ran all over Ohio State. It was a good game, but Ohio State just could not do anything offensively at all. So Missouri got down. That's a good win by them. And then yesterday we had this was a really good game, the Ole Miss and Penn State, but Ole Miss they couldn't be stopped on offense. Penn State did what they could, but Drew Lauer, whoever that was supposed to be their savior at quarterback, just couldn't do much against Ole Miss. So Ole Miss took that one, and Ole Miss, man, they're probably gonna be top 5 at the start of next year.
Yeah,
definitely the top 10.
See that. Oh, easily.
So they have a chance next year to make some noise for sure. Penn State, I think they're the biggest losers of the transfer or the realignment. Like I mentioned it already having to deal with Ohio, Michigan, and now they got to face Washington and Oregon in that conference. And then the game last night, the opt-out bowl. I don't care what anybody says. You play the game. Florida could have opted out of this one. They did not. They chose to play, sort of. And Georgia had some opt-outs too. Not as many, obviously. But this is how we saw what going down if they played in the playoffs. I think any team in the playoffs could have done this to Florida.
Well,
right now.
Georgia's been racking up the transfer portals though over the last few years. So their redshirt or their freshman and sophomore classes are a lot better than a lot of other colleges. I've noticed.
Yeah, no, I believe it. Yeah, they got some crazy talent there. And I heard this. So that's pretty much all the bowl games. We're gonna get into a bit of the transfer stuff here just for a minute. But um, I heard this on radio. I think one time they were discussing the transfer portal, and they were talking about not just transfer, but just starting out at like a big name school like Alabama and Ohio. And they say that when I heard that it's better to get a year or two at these big schools, the training that you get and all that is worth more than starting at a lower school. And I just felt like that was a pretty interesting perspective on that. Just even if you're the backup at Alabama, Ohio, any of these big time schools, that's much more valuable than being at a lower school with less, not as great trainers, not as great equipment, not as great, everything. So I don't know. I just thought that was
you get a chance to learn under these coaching staffs of these legendary programs.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, even if you don't start at these schools, like they're worth going. Yeah. That's the crazy thing. Like even if you don't start, and you never know if you might start too. Okay, so yeah, Joe wanted me to do the training. I don't know as much about the athletes. There's thousands of students, so it's kind of hard to keep track of them. But there was a few names that popped out of me, and a few that were kind of interesting. I got to imagine this is the 5-star Walter Nolan D-line going to Ole Miss is probably going to be awesome for him.
Yeah.
Going from Texas A&M, who's kind of a mid-team, going to Ole Miss, who's probably going to be a top 10. That's a good for him. And then you got the QB Dante Moore going to Oregon. Oregon, they're going to need a replacement for. Well, Bo Nix is there next year, right? Or is he just playing in this? Because I know he's playing in the game, but I don't think he's going for the draft yet. I'm not sure about that one.
I don't know if he's declared himself draft eligible or not.
I don't think so either. I don't think he'd be playing in this game if he was declaring.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of an interesting one there. Maybe this is for, I don't know. It doesn't show. If I clicked on it, it'd probably tell me what he's a sophomore or junior or something like that. Oh, freshman. Okay, so yeah, he's a freshman, so he'll be a sophomore next year, and yeah, so he might be the future Oregon Duck QB right there.
Yep.
One of the biggest ones that I saw, Etienne, yeah, Trevor, yeah, going from Florida to Georgia. How about that?
That's not going to be nice.
I like, that's scary, right? Georgia's making the playoffs next year. Like, there's no doubt about that. They have their quarterback still. Becca's going to be back there. They got a ton of players coming back. Like, that's scary. And now they just got probably one of the best running backs in NCAA. So that's crazy. Dylan Gabriel from Oklahoma to Oregon. So yeah. Oregon's getting a lot of QBs. Kind of interesting. So I'm guessing it's going to be Bo Nix and then Gabriel and then probably Dante Moore unless something else happens. But let's see. Riley Leonard going from Duke to Notre Dame. Notre Dame's going to have to find some. I don't know. That kid they had there was pretty impressive. So I'm not sure how that's going to get shake up there with Sam Hartman declaring. So they're definitely looking for
Peyton
one.
Green's coming to MU, to Mizzou.
Yeah, get a little sure up on that line. Schrader will be there next year, right?
No, this is Schrader's last year. Schrader's a senior.
Is it okay? So he was just playing in his last game.
Yeah, it was his last game.
But yeah, someone else will have to step up, but they'll have a big time lineman to do it. Here's another defensive lineman going to Ole Miss from Florida. I mean, man, Ole Miss. that's crazy right there. This one. I don't know. Someone's gonna have to explain this one to me. Marvin Jones going from Georgia to, I guess maybe it's playing time. I guess is one reason.
Yeah.
Again, and I just mentioned it. It's worth going to a big school and then getting playing time in another school after that. So maybe that's the case there. I mean, Florida State's probably going to be in playoffs next year. So I mean, you can't really go bad in this one. But leave with Georgia. Let's see if there's any more that I recognize. Kyle McCord was a big one. Someone's got to make this make sense to me because I don't get it. Closer to home, maybe.
Is that
I don't.
Syracuse?
Syracuse, yeah.
Yeah.
You go
I'm
from
like,
Ohio State to Syracuse. Yeah, I'm not feeling that one. You lose one game and you transfer. I don't know. I don't know. So Ohio really needs to find a QB because they did not have that the other night. So I'm surprised they don't have a transfer yet. They probably do, but I don't know. They have bigger names. Burks going to Oklahoma. That might be a good one right there. Trying to see.
Wells going to Ole Miss.
Yeah, Ole Miss is loading up. God, this is definitely going to be a team to watch next year.
So is Oregon.
Is it another quarterback?
No, it's a defensive
Yeah,
back.
Savage. Savage is really good. I recognize that name. Kansas State had a pretty decent year. Going to Oregon. Alabama's gotten a few players in here too. Georgia to Purdue. That's an interesting one. Let's see here. Will Rogers, Mississippi State to Washington. Okay. It's almost got to take over for Penix. Wonder if it'll be him. Yeah, I'm not going to go too much further down this list. Just kind of looking. Another DB for Ole Miss from Oklahoma. I don't know. Oklahoma's give up a lot of big plays, so I don't know about their DBs. There you go. Look at that. DB Bucknell. I'm guessing that's an FCS team or Division 2 or Division 3. Transfer Minnesota. That's a nice jump there.
Yeah.
Going into FBS. That's pretty cool. I like seeing that.
Memphis to Texas Tech.
Yeah. Yeah, going to Power Group. Oh, there you go. Teen Martin, running back, going to Oklahoma. That's cool. All right. Yeah. So Joe just wanted to show a couple of those. Some of the big. I say the biggest one on this list, though, for me, has got to be Etienne. Just Florida going to Georgia. That's scary. That's just so scary to me.
Oh yeah. Same thing with Marvin Jones going to Florida State.
Yeah. But Ole Miss, to me, Ole Miss, I think, has won it so far, though. Ole Miss and Georgia.
Yeah.
But, man, yeah, Ole Miss is definitely loading up. So, yeah, that's what we got for college this week. We'll next week we'll do a review of the semifinals. That'll be happening next week. Actually,
tomorrow.
On slate today or tomorrow. Yeah, you got the. I really want to watch this game, the Verbo Fiesta Bowl 23. Liberty doesn't have a chance in this one, but any given Monday, let's. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna pray for them. God rest their soul. But,
I kind of hope Liberty pulls it out. I think
absolutely. And Bo Nix is gonna be like Oregon's all in on this one, and Liberty has like the number 6-7 offense or whatever in the country. The problem with Liberty is that they had the 130th strength of schedule. They played no Power 5 teams this year. So this something's going to give in this one. But
if they can pull up the upset, that'll really help their program.
Yeah, and this to me, this is a preview of next year right here. Because this is going to happen next year. It's going to be a group of 5 team, group of 5 going against the Power 5 because they're the best group of 5 team. So this is literally going to happen. This is next year. This is a playoff game. So that's the kind of measuring stick for me. And then let me do the other bowl games real quick before I go into semifinals. We got this one is probably going to be, I don't know if I'm that interested in this one. Wisconsin and LSU. Wisconsin's kind of meh this season. LSU, Jaden Daniels not going to play in this one. So we'll see who steps up for them, who might be the future for LSU. And then the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl, Iowa and Tennessee. Ew.
Yeah.
If there's one word to explain Iowa, it's ew. So that this could be a very boring game right here. And Tennessee might roll up on them if they, or maybe not. I mean, the defense is really good for Iowa. Their offense is really, really bad. They're even worse than how good the defense is. Like that's saying. So, but it's gonna be in Orlando, so it's gonna be a nice day, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Or raining, one of the two. And then lastly, of course, you got the semifinals, the two big games. I've been seeing so much about this the last week. I've actually seen more talk about the Texas and Washington game on ESPN, doing all the halftime shows for the bowl
Yeah.
game. They've more talked about that game than they have Alabama, Michigan. It's kind of weird. For a second, I thought it was because it was going to, like, maybe one was on ESPN and not the other one, but no, they're both on ESPN. So,
Yeah.
not really sure why they talked about one and not the other, but both could be great games. I
Well,
personally think they picked the best ones, but
I wonder if they're talking about the Sugar Bowl more because of how Texas got in there. As opposed
yeah, I don't know.
to,
I kind of skipped through all the conversation because I kept hearing it every single. It was literally every single halftime for all the bowl games. They were at least had a section discussing the semifinals, and it seemed to always be the Texas and Washington. So I don't know. But yeah, this will be the semifinals right here. Can't wait for this. I'm actually taking Tuesday off of work, so I can stay up and watch this. Um, I'm doing the same thing next week. I'm taking Monday and Tuesday off, so I'll be up for the championship game. And then I'm taking Super Bowl Monday off. So, I'm going to get my football in and not have to worry about waking up early next morning. So, yeah.
I'll have to work Super Bowl Monday, but because I need all of my PTO saved up. So,
yeah, I'm going to have to start building me up. I want to go do something during the summer, so I'll definitely have to start building mine back up.
Yeah. Well, the nice part is I get 3 weeks a year, so.
I don't agree with that, Joe, especially with what you've been preaching literally all year long. In order to be the man, you got to beat the man, and Alabama beat the man, and then Texas beat the man to beat the man. So no, I don't agree with that at all. And FSU did not deserve to be in. Well, they did, but they weren't good enough.
Yeah. Well,
next year they'd be in. So
yep.
One team had to be left out, and I don't think Texas or Alabama should have been left out. I think that would have been a bigger crime, to be honest. And now Florida State's trying to get out of ACC.
Yeah. I don't know where they're going to go. I mean, are they trying to get in the?
I would guess probably the Big Ten. But they can't even like really talk to anybody until they get out of their legal issues. So who knows?
Yeah.
Until they get rid of that baggage. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for all the college stuff, Knock. It's always enlightening. And, that brings us to the NFL. And the first game we're going to talk about, of course, is the Browns versus the Jets from Thursday. I don't know if you saw any of this game.
I did. I saw good parts of it. Joe Flacco, God, just unreal. I mean, he was playing lights out, and then he needed the lights out because he was falling asleep. So
he's over there on the.
It was interesting. So
could use some of those smelling salts.
I will tell you what though, and I meant to bring this up during the college football talk, and we're going to discuss it with the game last night, the Saturday night game. The refs, man, the refs absolutely screwed over the Jets in this one. There was a fumble by the Browns, and the Jets picked it up and potentially could have taken it for a touchdown. But the refs called the play dead, down by contact.
Yep.
They reviewed it. It was clearly out before the guy went to the ground. Don't know what the fuck the refs were looking at. And they gave it to the Jets. But then the Jets couldn't do much with it. And it makes no sense to me. Like they emphasized you letting the play go. I guess there's some player safety thing where they don't like the play continuing because players get hurt when the play doesn't really matter. But that was a game changer play right there, and unbelievable that they blew it dead right there. And the refs did that. Like, and then you had the Lions game where the ref screwed that one. I believe they screwed it. And then you had there was a game yesterday that in the and this is just a general rule, so it's not really the ref's fault, but someone's got to explain to me this whole illegal touching thing, because I don't get its purpose in football. Which is what happened with the Lions, and then of course in the Iowa, or excuse me, the Barstool Bowl, Toledo and Wyoming, there was a play where it was a screenplay, and it tipped off the running back's hand, and the lineman caught it and ran it for a touchdown. But they called it back. It was like an awesome play, and they called it back because it was illegal touching. I'm like, what? If a defender caught that, it'd be just fine. But a lineman bouncing off the hand of his, like, he wasn't the first. If he was the first one to touch it, I can absolutely see it, right? But if it bounced off the running back's hand and then the old lineman caught it, I don't understand that. That just doesn't make sense to me in any kind of real sense. I feel like the letter of that rule is just wrong to prevent a play like that happening. I think it stifles football, which is I just need someone to explain. I could be swayed. I just need someone to explain it better to me, because I didn't get any real good explanation on the TV from the refs, because they suck at explaining things.
Yeah.
But it sticks away from it.
Yeah, the refs this year have been really bad at both the college and pro level. They've basically been deciding outcomes of games.
Yeah, it really has, and I think that really affected this. Coming back circled on this one, I think the Jets could have done something, and it was a huge momentum swing if they had picked it up and taken it back for a touchdown. They would have been down, I think, only a score or something like that. It could have been a momentum change or anything like that. Their offense wasn't doing that good, so they needed a defensive play like that, and the refs took it away from them. The refs did. I blows my, because even if it was down by contact, right? What happens after every turnover? You get a review. That's why you let it play. So it blows my mind that there's still refs screwing it up. And I know they're getting a lot of bad heat on this one, but I saw that immediately, where it was like, you just took away a touchdown. The refs did, because of their judgment. Yeah, it's a judgment call. Well, the refs have bad judgments right now. This year they have just the worst judgment. It's just unbelievable. Like, I think, I know people don't want to slow the game down more, but there needs to be more review, to me.
Yeah, there does.
Or just better judge. I don't know. I don't know exactly how you fix it. I'm not a smart man, but something's got to give. Something's got to fit. I can't see them going to full automated, because that would just be stupid, because there's holding on every play. There's some penalty every single play. So, we don't want to get ridiculous with it. So you kind of need the human factor in it. But, God, these guys suck. They suck. Team Judge sucks this year.
Yeah. But to go back to the Jets Browns game, the what is it? The Flacco Sants. Still continues.
I'm getting so tired of Joe doing that damn meme. The Flacco sauce is real. Like, oh my God. Okay, I get it.
Well, I mean,
but it's true.
Put up 428 yards of total offense. I mean, that's not anything to sneeze at, and that's with 301 passing yards from Flacco.
I saw a picture somewhere, like, Flacco needs 37 yards to pass Gianni Manziel in the Browns all-time list in yards. That cracked me up.
Yeah, that is hilarious. Yeah, because Johnny Football was definitely a bust.
Yeah, all about the money, man. All about the money.
But but I mean, it was a good game. It was an enjoyable game, despite that. But now that brings us to last night's game.
By the way, the Browns and the Lions being in the playoffs is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's just it's even worse it's even more surprising with the Lions, because they haven't been a good team for a long time.
Oh, Teague, the Jets had Flacco and they let him go. So that's your fault. That's your guys' fault. So you let him go. He wasn't playing well, but still.
Well, that's because they didn't have the right scheme for him.
Yeah,
that's what it boils down to. It's not that Flacco was a bad quarterback. It was because he was not in a good offensive scheme that fit his talents.
Mm.
And you know that's what happens when quarterback transfer sometimes. They'll get into a bad scheme. I think that's what's wrong with Russell Wilson. I don't think he fits into what the Broncos are doing offensively.
No,
Well.
we'll discuss the Broncos here in a few, but
Yeah.
I kind of agree with that, especially last year. Last year was definitely you really don't fit in this offense, and then Sean Payton took over, and he's like, I'm going to try it, but no.
Yeah. So, but to get onto the heartbreak that was
the theft.
Yeah, the theft of the Lions Cowboys game, because I picked the Lions. You guys all picked the Cowboys, but I had
Yeah.
I was almost right.
Yeah, no, I was rooting for the Lions. I like the Lions. I wanted to see them have a crack at the number one. That would have been kind of crazy. The Lions being number one seed, they had a chance.
Yeah, they did.
Fortunately, but
they can still do it if Eagles lose out. They can still take number one.
Well, I mean, 49ers have to lose out, and the 49ers are playing Washington today. So.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, that's.
I mean, it can happen, obviously, but I don't see it happening.
Yeah, there's a reason why I started Deebo Samuels in the San Francisco defense this week in fantasy football. But yeah, but if you didn't see this game last night, the score technically should have been 21-20, and it all hinged on a bad ref call, or not even a bad ref call, a complete outright lie. Was that Sheffers?
Was Sheffers that broke it?
Yeah.
They were saying. Well, even the lineman was saying, I know, because you watch the video, you see Goff, direct the lineman, number 68, the one that caught the ball, over to the ref. He goes over there, and apparently he's the one that said reported in, and number 70 didn't report in, but yet 70 was called as being reported in, and 68 wasn't.
Exactly.
It just doesn't make any sense to me.
It doesn't, and and let's face it, he gambled.
No, it was a huge gamble. I mean, old school guys like Joe. I think he's in private chat. I don't know if he's trying to get in here and say his piece, but it's one of those things where, and the old school guys are never going to want him to go for it. They're always going to want to play for OT, which that could happen. That you never know what's going to happen in OT, especially when you have a guy like CeeDee Lamb who can go 92-yard bombs in one play.
Yeah.
The Lions should have had a sack in that one. That was a big one right there.
Yeah.
But he's like, look, I don't trust. I think these guys could beat us in overtime with one series. Might never see the field. Let's try to win now. So I can see the mentality, and they should have had it.
But
to go for the second and third time, though, I felt like they were pushing their luck.
Yeah, that's that, and I agree with what Joe had a quote, and I'll let him say it since he's here.
Well, yeah, it's good to see you guys. I just wanted to stick my head in and thank you guys for doing the show. I know everybody loves watching it. Look, it's a gamble, like Knock was saying, and I just believe in putting your team in the best position to win, and you do that by doing the high percentage play, and that is the field goal to tie it up. Give yourself another chance. As far as the call on the field, I got to tell you, this reporting bullshit needs to stop. What they need to do is just say, hey, this is your line. Now, if you're going to have an extra guy, okay, he's eligible. He's on the end. That's fine. But this reporting stuff, as bad as the referees have been, they need to learn who's eligible on a fucking play and who's not. It needs to be set in stone. This reporting shit is bullshit. If they're lined up wrong, they call it for that, right? So they should know who's fucking eligible on every play. It's just stupid to me that they don't make it that way and that these guys have to report. It's dumb. So that's my 2 cents on it. Yeah, he knows me very well. I'm an old school guy, and I will always kick the field goal and tie it up and extend the game. That's what I will do.
Give the team a chance to win
look,
overtime.
I'm going to get out of here, guys. I just wanted to stick my head in and say hi and thank you, and wish you two a Merry Christmas, and thank you for doing the show with me all year. And John, thank you for running it for me today. I'm getting ready for this New Year's Eve party, and you guys will be able to watch it live starting at 9:00 tonight. So, yeah, I think I put 10, maybe, I think it's around 9:00 Central Time. I think 10:00 Eastern. I'm going to start broadcasting from here. It's just going to be a live feed of the party. I'm going to have a camera set up behind my bar so you can see our living room, and I'll have one set up outside for the pergola because we've got everything going on outside too. So, looking forward to a fun time tonight, and you guys have a great New Year, and thanks for doing the show again, and I will talk to you guys later.
You too, Joe. Have a great party.
All right, you guys be good. Knock, you take it easy, brother.
Yeah, buddy.
Don't get in no trouble. You're the youngest one out of all of us. I don't have to bail you out. Bye.
Bye. So yeah, so that's the highlight of that's really what the Lions Cowboys game boiled down to. But I mean, because it was tied up at 10-10 up until the fourth quarter. So, but
yeah, I that's a potential playoff preview right there too.
Yeah.
If the Rams if the Lions can get past the Rams.
Yeah, if they can.
Which is what it's shaping up to be.
Yeah, Stafford shows up when he needs to. That's what's scary. But so that brings us to the noon games, or 1:00. It's noon for me. But the first one we're going to talk about is probably the biggest AFC game of the day.
Yeah, could be for the number 1 seed.
Yep, very easily could be. But we got the Dolphins versus the Ravens, and I'm going to go with the Dolphins, even though they're one down. I think their offense is probably a little better than Ravens' defense. Because Tyreek's playing today, so
I don't know. I think but Waddle's out.
Yeah, that's true.
So that for me, that quadruple team Hill, put him in a box and stuff him in the closet, which not going to happen because he can run out of the box easily.
Yeah,
he's done it every single time. But he's also a little banged up, so he's not 100% healthy. I don't know how banged up he is now. It's been a few weeks, but I think they're going to have to get the running game good. But Baltimore, man, they just came off that shellacking. I guess you could say, Mostert's out too. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
well, Connie's back, so that's good.
Yeah, we got a Kane.
Really?
A Kane is
Connie.
Yeah, however you say it. He's the starting running back for them. So, and if they're going to double triple Hill, Tua's going to check down to him all day.
Oh man. Okay, looks like I needed to check my fantasy lineup because I got a couple guys out.
Yeah.
The Connie, Keenan Allen. Oof.
But
I'm going Ravens in this one though. I think like I said before, you could say maybe they got that emotional, burnout after beating up 49ers last week, but I don't think so. I think they're going to ride that to the Ravens are the number 1 team this year right now. I think after beating the 49ers, I think they've earned their number 1 spot in the league. And Dolphins against physical teams, they did have a good win last week at the Cowboys, but some people suspect that one too.
Yeah,
because they're always going to suspect the Dolphins.
Well,
but
then there's the fact the Dolphins haven't beat a plus 500 team, or they've only beat one, I think. That was the Cowboys, but yeah. So
yeah, so I'm definitely because of the injuries. They're starting running back, one of their better wide receivers. They're the number 2 wide receiver. I don't know, and then I think the Ravens could be physical with them. I think Ravens could knock Tua out. We could finally get the Tua knockout. in this game. I don't know if
he's been
that'll
holding
happen,
all
but
season, but
yeah, you should get rid of the ball quick. You got them receivers that are so fast, but now you have Waddle. If they can at least slow downhill, keep them covered the best they can. What else does Miami have? They're going to have to run the ball, and they can. But this is a really good, defense. Is that down below? Well, I mean, Ravens are. Does that say the number 1 rush defense?
Yep.
So I mean, something's got to give here. The Dolphins have to run, and the Ravens have the number 1 run defense. So, but they have the 21st passing defense. So, play action.
Yeah.
I guess. But you got to get the run game going in order to do that. So, it's tough. I'm going with the Ravens. I think they've earned it. I think they've earned the nod for this season. They are the regular season champs. So I'm gonna stick with them personally. So I think the Ravens can out-physical the Dolphins.
Okay. All right. Well, that brings us to the Patriots versus the Bills. Do we even need to?
Hey, I mean, watch out! Don't sleep on the Patriots, man. The Zappy, he'll get you.
Yeah.
He'll zap you.
Yeah.
And the defense is not bad. You just need look. Joe will first thing he'll say is he doesn't trust Allen. All you do is a couple turnovers, and Allen can lose the game.
Yeah. As they
so
call
it
it, the
with
mental
Denver.
midget.
It happened with the Jets. It's a thing. So, I think Buffalo has this one, especially at home, but I'm definitely rooting for the Pats.
Yeah. I'm actually going to root for the Patriots too, because
I'm definitely rooting for the Patriots.
I'd like to see the Bills get knocked down a peg, but I have ulterior motives for that, so
Yeah.
get them off our heels. So obviously, I'm going to root for the Patriots. So even though I'm pretty sure the Bills are going to handle it, but. So next up is the Falcons Bears.
Yeah.
Probably a mediocre game.
Yeah, this is probably one of the games. When it was YouTube TV, it gives you a selection of 4 games to watch, but you can't really pick what variation that you get. Like you can't swap out one for another. You kind of have to go with the ones that they give you. So this is probably going to be like that one game where it's going to make me watch that one because I can't swap it out with a better one. Where I'll have like 3 of the perfect games, and then I got a 4th one that I want to have, but this game is on, so it won't let me watch the other one. So
yeah,
I can see that happening. God, as far as the game goes, Bears have been looking better.
Yeah, they have been. They've been coming on, but
Atlanta's a 500 team. That's just what they are. That's so. I mean, I think they could lose this one, win next week, or win this one and then lose next week. Like they're going to be just off and on.
It's just a battle of mediocrity. That's what this is. There's
I think I'm going to go with the Falcons just because it's hard to trust the Bears. I think the Bears is at home.
Yeah, it is Soldier Field, so
I don't know how much of a home field advantage the Bears have this year, so I'm not really sure how much that'll affect it, but I don't know. Landa does strangely well in some games, and I don't know. Maybe this will be like that. So I'm going to go with the Falcons on this one.
I'm going to split. I'm going to go with the Bears.
Yeah.
Just because they're at home. Yeah. All right. Yep. Next up,
kind of a one flip on that one.
The Titans versus the Texans.
Stroud is back.
Yep. So I'm going with the Texans.
Yeah, I'm definitely rooting for the Titans. The Broncos have the slimmest chance, and I'll show that if we have time because I do have my playoff predictor here, and we can play with that a little bit. I'm doing my picks right now, and then if you want to mess with it, I'll switch it over to your picks as well, and then I'll show the scenario in which the Broncos make it. But no, I think if Stroud's back and he plays like he has before, this should be Texas pretty easy.
Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting game.
Well, not easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
Well, and it's because, I mean,
Titans beat them last time.
Yeah,
I think that was with Stroud, right?
Yeah, the Texans beat them in December, just a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, did they? Okay, well, that was a close game, though.
Yeah, it was 19-16.
Oh, that was just. I think that was when Stroud was out. So
yeah,
could be a different game.
Yeah. So, but the
you never know with these division games.
Yeah. Who knows if King Henry gets going? Because the Texans do have a poor rushing defense.
Mm-hmm.
They're 23rd. I mean, so if Henry does get going, then that's.
Has he really gotten going anytime this season, though? I mean, what is that, 27th in rushing? That's kind of...
Yeah. They haven't.
He hasn't really gone anywhere at all. So
no,
I don't know. Something's definitely got to give on this one, but I think Texans got it.
Yeah, I do too. I like C.J. Stroud. I think he's a future star.
Oh yeah, they knocked it out of the park with him.
No, it's just a shame he went out, and that pretty much ruined his chance of being offensive rookie of the year.
So before we move on, because I just thought it was because it was the Texans and we already discussed the Browns, where do you think Deshaun Watson's going to be next year?
On his couch.
I mean, the Texans are happy to have gotten rid of him, and they just got the rookie of the future for the next, however many years. And the Browns don't need him. Why they got him in the first place, nobody knows, but they got him.
Yeah.
And now you got Joe. I mean, obviously Joe Flacco is not going to be the guy for the next 10 years. But
but neither's Deshaun Watson.
Insert decent quarterback here, and you got a playoff team.
Yeah.
So it's like, what did the Browns do? Personally, I would get rid of that. I'd go through cap hell next year. That's what I do in Madden. I go through cap hell for a year. That's what the Broncos are probably going to do next year. Go through cap hell, deal with it for a year, and then you're free of it.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that happens with the Browns. But I wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, I could see them sticking with Flacco. I mean, because he's proved that he can still do it.
I'm just curious for how long though how long he'll keep playing. Like if he wins a Super Bowl this year with the Browns, is he coming back? Like that'd be crazy. The way that team's playing, they clinched the playoff spot. They're in.
Yeah.
And like next week, I don't even think next week matters for them
because
they're too far out of the division, I think. What's their ranking? They're 11, and so they need the. I believe they need the Ravens to lose out, and they need to win out to have a chance at the division. But other than that, they can't. I don't think they can really get any lower after this weekend. If they win, they can't get lower than 5th.
Right.
So next week might just be a bye week for them.
Yeah, they'll probably rest their starters. But I mean, if Flacco takes them all the way, then he's pretty much. I could see him going, okay, I proved I can still do it. I'm done.
Yeah, right. So that's just interesting. But now we'll see. The Texans, they definitely found their guy. So
they do. They're looking good for.
I mean, and they're looking for the division right now.
Yeah, they are.
So, I mean, they could still win that.
Yep, they sure could. So now we got the Raiders versus the Colts.
Yeah. As much as it pains me to say it, I'm rooting for the Raiders this week because I need the Colts to lose.
I just can't do it.
Hey, you needed to lose too. Okay,
I know.
The Raiders can still win the division, but I still need them to win so that the Broncos can beat them next week. Okay, that's what I need. I need to.
I just can't ever. I can't ever root for the Raiders, and I'm still on the Minshew Magic train, even though that's pretty much derailed.
Well, I'm hoping Pittman's back. If Pittman's back and plays and is good, it looks like so far he is. At least going to play. I think Indy's got it because you still have Jonathan Taylor. Moss is out, but Taylor is back from his surgery. So, I'm picking the Colts in this one, but I am still kind of hoping that Raiders are. we have so much that needs to happen and I'll show it in the playoff machine. But we need a lot to happen, and part of that is the Colts losing too. So
Yeah.
that's and then of course we need to beat the Raiders, and we of course need to win our game. So
Yeah.
but I'm picking the Colts. I think the Colts have this one. Finally get Raiders off your back, and Colts. Colts also have a chance at the division. I mean, everything is up for the Colts and Colts, Jags, and Texans all could be sitting at 9-7 at the end of this week.
Yep. And it just boils down to who's got the tiebreakers.
Yeah.
So, but so this brings us to Carolina, Jacksonville.
Yeah. Speaking of the AFC South.
Yep.
With Lawrence out.
Yeah.
And look at the Panthers defense. Number 4. This is still we mentioned this last week when we talked about the Panthers game. When you have a number 4 defense that's always on the field, that's pretty freaking impressive.
Yeah.
And if you're fantasy playoffs this week, I would honestly, if I was in the championship week, I would probably play the Panthers defense. I'd probably lose. You never know what's going to happen. But with a 4th defense and a backup QB for the Jags, I would roll that dice.
Well, it did cross my mind, but considering I already had San Francisco and
the
Browns, so come
come
on, they're playing Washington.
Well, Washington can throw the ball. They're playing Brissett this week, and Brissett looked better than how he did last week.
Yeah,
so.
he did.
I don't know. I don't think they'll win, obviously, but I think they can put up some points, and that hurts in fantasy. So
yeah, it does. We'll see what happens after this.
But I'm absolutely. I'm going to pick the Panthers for the upset in this one. The Jags were already looking pretty shoddy these last couple of weeks with Lawrence, but maybe that I guess you could say maybe without the turnovers, the Jags could win it. And maybe if the QB takes care of the ball. And they just
let their backup
go. I don't even know. That's the crazy thing. Hang on, I got the app right here. Let's see. Jaguars. Oh, CJ Beathard.
Yeah, I just pulled it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. No, he's played. He's only started 49 games.
He didn't have a bad week last week when he came in, though. Looks like.
No, he did all right. It's just he doesn't look like the Panther killer that they need. With their defense, with the Panthers defense.
His season stat lines is 23 for 29 for 171 yards and a touchdown. So,
yeah.
Who knows what that means? So
yeah.
I think I guess it's just it's tough because you got what is it the number 4 defense, and you got to run the ball. I think for the Jags. Kind of like the Dolphins and Ravens game where you're gonna need to run the ball and you're playing a top run defense.
Yeah.
Or a defense that's the top. It looks like their rushing defense is only 19th though, so I'm guessing their pass defense is what's better. Maybe teams are just running on them. So I don't know. I'm doing the upset on this one though, just for funsies. I want to see chaos in the because the Jags would be 8-8 after this one if they lose. And it would basically be either the Colts. Now the Colts and the Texans play each other next week.
Yeah.
So that could be. They got to make that the primetime game. And then you have the Ravens and Steelers, but the Ravens probably won't care about that game as much as the Steelers do, depending. So it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
But if the Jags win, then it's 3 9-7s based on our wins today.
Yeah, I'm gonna call parallel. You know me, I'm always if the defense is better, I'm always gonna lean that direction. So I'm definitely gonna go with the Panthers in this one.
Okay.
Next up, we got, and all these games so far are at noon.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we still haven't gotten to the 4:00 games yet. Ridiculous.
No, we got a ways to go yet. Yeah. So we got the Rams versus the Giants.
I think Rams. Not much I need to say with this one. I think
Yeah.
Tyrod Taylor's probably starting this one. Is my guess. Even still, Rams are looking good. They're making a playoff push right now. Yeah, Tyrod Taylor. Yeah, I know Joe's hoping for the Rams to lose, but I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the Rams are going to pull this one out quite easily. Yeah, this doesn't even have. They don't even have the what rank they are on this one for some reason.
What do you mean? Oh, their offense and defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I just need to refresh it. Hang on. May just not have loaded. Because it does all this stuff. There it is.
There it goes.
Yeah. That's.
Whew.
Yeah, that's not. You got the worst passing and the worst offense in the league, and the 28th worst defense. Yeah, this is easily going to go towards the Rams.
Just can they get out of this healthy? That'd probably be the biggest question.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem with a lot of these games that really doesn't make a difference. You're not sure if you're going to have something happen and lose one of your star players.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, next up we got the Cardinals versus the Eagles. Battle of the Birds.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go with the Eagles pretty easily in this one.
Oh yeah,
they Kyler Murray's going to make some moves, make some plays, but they're still going to lose.
Yeah.
Look at their defense, and the offense is a little skewed because that was pre-Kyler. So yeah, I think that's a little bit skewed, but yeah, I'm going Eagles.
Yeah, I am too. I
think this is a good confidence game for the Eagles.
yeah. This is a tune-up for them.
Yeah.
All right. After this, we've got the Saints and the Bucks.
Yeah, go Bucks. I'm definitely rooting for the Bucks. You gotta feel. I know that's one of Joe's favorite players, Oklahoma Boomer Sooner.
Yep.
Baker Mayfield.
And he's and Joe is right. The Browns made a mistake when they got rid of him.
Yeah, it still doesn't make sense to this day to let go of a quarterback that's at times carrying you.
Yeah.
And they built the perfect offense around him, and then they let him go. It's like, okay, for a guy that they didn't really need.
Yep.
And really hasn't done anything for him because he keeps getting hurt.
And paid way too much for.
Yeah, way too much for all of it guaranteed.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm going the Bucks on this one. The Saints just haven't shown much this year.
Yeah.
But like the Falcons, they're just a 500 team, and they can get to 500 again.
Their kicker is from Sedalia, so I always root for the Saints if it's not something that's going to affect the Chiefs. So I'm still going to pick the Bucks. I can't not. They're just a better team.
They're looking good. There's finally a team in that division that's looking good, and they're starting to pull away, and they win this game, and that's the conference.
Yep.
I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think they'll get their.
I haven't looked at all the playoff clinching scenarios, but
yeah. By the way, this is still noon games.
Yeah, that's why it's gonna be so difficult to
watch all these.
Yeah, to watch all of them.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna try to pick the ones.
Do we really need to pick this one?
No.
You've got the number one team in the NFL.
I say number 2, but yeah. They lost that title last week.
Okay. All right. You can make that argument.
But it was just a bad day. I mean, potentially, yeah. I mean, they can come back, and they'll if it's Ravens San Francisco Super Bowl, I'm probably still going to pick the 49ers. So Purdy had a bad day. It was just a bad day all around. So
yeah.
I think this is the perfect bounce back game right here.
Yeah, it is, and you really can't ever count out McCaffrey out of any situation.
As long as he's not playing quarterback. That's
yeah.
I
As long as
think we
he's
have to
not
draw a
throwing
line. As long as I think we have to draw the line on that one.
Yeah. As long as he's not throwing the ball, that's the one thing you
That's
can't
when
do.
things are bad. Okay, is when he's throwing the ball.
But yeah, so and this is still a noon game.
Yeah.
We don't get to the afternoon games until
I probably won't watch this one though.
Yeah, I'm probably going to skip this one too. I'm not sure which one I'm going to watch yet, but probably the Miami game.
I mean, you got to watch that game. That's the number one game of the week.
So, yeah, and that brings us to the first of the afternoon games.
This is a pretty decent game right here. This is two teams fighting for the last spot in their playoff wild card potentially.
Yep.
I think the Seahawks they can claim that 7th spot, not claim it outright today, but they're in it right now at the 7th spot if they win. Then the Patriots or the Steelers, they're on the outside looking in, but they need this win to stay in.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to root for the Seahawks.
And the Seahawks as well at home.
That 12th man is.
I like what Mason Rudolph did last week, but I don't think he's the model consistency.
No.
I don't see that happening again against a better team.
No.
Or against a good team, but no, I'm going Seahawks. Gino's had another week to recover and come back a little bit more. I'm going Seahawks. And hopefully they'll learn to throw it to Metcalf, but we'll see.
Yeah, please throw it to Metcalf. I need the points.
I'm trying to get 3rd place here.
I'm trying to win my championship. So, but I mean, this is a good game. Yeah, and then we've got the game
Battle
here
of the
what
backups.
Talk about. Yep.
Battle of the backups. Now, all week, of course, leading up to it, Russell Wilson benched. They had to do that for the insurance money because if he got hurt and was unable to complete his physical in March, it would cost the Broncos $37 million on top of the 39 he's already got guaranteed.
Right.
So that's basically why they're sitting in. They tried to negotiate earlier in the year after they beat the Chiefs for him to take that out of his contract, and he was shocked and appalled and did not do it. So they're like, all right, we're going to bench you then. Not going to risk it.
Yep.
You're not playing. He was. If we had won, more games, probably not be in this position. We did not. He did not. When you get paid that much money, you're supposed to elevate your team.
Yeah.
When Peyton Manning came here, he elevated the team. He made everyone better. And Russell Wilson did not do that here. That's it.
Yeah, and I don't think him and Sean Payton get along that well either.
No. What I'm expecting is for Stidham to get the ball out fast and just throw it. Just throw the ball.
Yeah.
We have good receivers. You have to actually give him a chance. Will Stidham probably turn it over more? Maybe. But will he make bigger plays more often? I think so.
Well, and you guys got a decent running back too.
Yeah, we have a couple. Samaje Perine is a great pass catcher. You just dump it down to him. We won the last Chargers game based solely on and the Bills game based solely on just that, the dumping the ball off on the final series, pretty much all the way down the field. And then Javonte Williams.
Yep.
It has been he hasn't been the best, but the offensive line hasn't been the greatest either. But they've been decent. And I just expect Stidham to just air it out. Just get the ball out faster. That's all I want. I get it out faster. Trust your wide. Wilson just never trusted his receivers like he did. Like when he threw the ball up from Metcalf and Lockett, he trusted him.
Yeah.
He did. He kind of trusted Cortland Sutton a little bit, but never trusted Judy. Just barely threw the ball to him. Tight ends, meh. You know, it was basically just dump downs for the most part, and then just take forever and take a sack, and that's all I'm hoping for. I just want to see Stidham get the ball out faster.
Yeah, and I think the Broncos' defense is a little better than what they're ranked here.
Yeah, I mean, we give up a lot on the run. That rushing is actually pretty accurate because we give up a lot on the ground. So hopefully, if we can keep Eckler in check, Keenan Allen's out of this game.
Yeah.
So that helps a ton. And then just get to the quarterback, man. Stick had his first game against us, and we destroyed him.
Herbert's still out, right?
He's out for the season, I believe.
Was he? I wasn't sure if he was out for the season or just out for the.
I honestly don't know why they would even play him again this year, even if he was getting healthy.
Yeah.
What could you possibly gain for him? Yeah, it's still Stick.
Yeah.
What could you possibly gain for him coming back? You know, you're not looking for anything else in Herbert. You're not. Is he the guy? No, that's long gone and past. Get him healthy. Get him healthy. This year is already a wash. You're already eliminated. There's literally no reason for him to play. Even if it is to knock out the Broncos, that's not even a big enough concern for them.
No.
Broncos have already eliminated themselves. They're not officially eliminated, but
there's still a chance.
Way
though.
There's still a chance for the Raiders.
Yeah. We're going to show the chance here in a minute. All right. Well, that brings us to my game of the afternoon.
I'm going Broncos, by the way. So
I figured I'm going Broncos too.
It's going to be a rough one, but I think we can get back to 500.
Yeah. But, so we got the Chiefs versus the Bengals. This is my afternoon game.
Yeah, Bengals have stumbled a little bit, and so the Chiefs. So it could be interesting. I'll be watching this game too. I'll have multiple games. I'll have all the afternoon games up. Since there's only 3, I'll be able to watch that all on one screen with the YouTube TV, which, by the way, has been pretty awesome this year. But
cool.
I'll take it.
Yeah, Pacheco's back. So, I mean, he's still dealing with a shoulder problem, but I don't think it'll slow him down much. And we've got McCole Hardman back, so we've got some of that speed back on the in the wideouts.
But has Tony's hands come back yet? I don't. Have they come back from injury yet? I don't.
No, they're still at the Butterfinger Institute of.
Okay. All right, got it. Okay, I wasn't sure if they
wide receivers.
They didn't ship it back in time. Got it.
Okay. No. So.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, but we've got James. James looks really good, and we need to get Ross more involved.
Ross Rice.
Rice. Well, yeah, but. Justin Ross, the one that came off suspension from the same thing that Von Miller did, and yet Von Miller didn't get any punishment whatsoever. So
you seem a little salty about that.
Yeah, I am a little salty about that.
Listen, stop standing off sides. Okay, you'll be okay.
Yeah, well. Hey, Von Miller was offsides too. He just didn't
everybody's offsides.
Yeah, I know. But I'm going Chiefs.
I think, yeah. Man, I'm going to go Chiefs, especially at home. Yeah, I think you got to go Chiefs. Bengals have been struggling a little bit lately, but they still got a decent team all around. So never know. But yeah, I'll pick the Chiefs at home.
They've been talking smack in our Chiefs face groups all week. So especially freaking Jamar Chase, what he's saying. Oh, they don't have a defender.
Yeah, we'll see.
Of course, I think Snead is out. That might be an issue. I mean, we've got some good. I don't see. He's still day to day. They still haven't announced if he's playing yet or not. Yeah, he's a game time decision. So if we've got Snead in there, yeah, it's going to be clamp time for Jamar Chase. You know, because he won't be able to do anything. But Yeah, I don't think the it never works out well when you run your mouth like that before a big game like this. But I'm still going. I'm going Chiefs. That's a give me though. I mean, come on, I'm always going Chiefs. Then we got the Monday night game or Sunday night game because there's no Monday night game this week because they had the Monday night game on Saturday.
I don't know why it bothered me that they kept going. It's the Monday night game on Saturday. I don't know why that bothered me so much, but it just sounded so dumb. Just call it Sunday night football or Saturday night football.
Yeah, Saturday night football.
Monday night football, Saturday edition. That's so stupid.
Well, Monday night's their brand, so that's the.
I know, but that still, it's so dumb.
But so we got the Packers versus the Vikings. That's a rivalry. It's been around for a while. They're 7-8 teams.
Yeah, Vikings are going to their next quarterback. Hill.
Yeah.
So they're running out of quarterbacks in Minnesota. So I'm not too sure about that one. But so I'm going Green Bay on this one just because of the carousel quarterbacks that Minnesota's had.
And let's face it, Jordan Love has been playing well recently compared to what he has been earlier in the year.
Yeah. I don't think they have a shot to make the playoffs, but
oh no, they don't. They're not making the playoffs, but they're like a lot of other teams. They're a 500 team. They're not the Packers of old, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Jordan Love is their guy for the future. They just need better tools around him.
Yeah, and it's been the thing for the last couple of years. They have some young receivers, and that I think they're getting better, for sure. They've been banged up at running back. I think they really need another running back there. For Aaron Jones. He just keeps getting hurt.
Well, running backs have a short lifespan in the NFL anyway.
So and then I think that get a good tight end.
Yeah,
get a really good tight end. Go get Brock Bowers. And have fun with that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that will. That would. Now that I stop and think about it, Brock Bowers would probably come in and really help the team.
No, he's the number one tight end coming out, so I think.
I know. But the thing is, though, is he going to be around?
What do you mean?
I mean, do you think he'll still be available?
Oh, well, tight ends. I don't know. Tight ends don't usually go that early in the first round. I think they're usually late first rounders. I don't know. Historically, I don't know.
Yeah.
How they generally draft, but I don't think they usually top 10 at least.
No, it's usually quarterbacks. I think
Packers will be in the 20s.
Defensive players,
upper teens.
Yeah, it depends on if they win this game or not, and where they do next, what they do next week. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure who they play next week, but
the Packers, they play. I have the list right here. They play. I can't see them. Chicago.
Okay, yeah, so they've got a really good shot. It's another rivalry of theirs. So they've got a really good shot at winning out.
Yeah.
So they
9-8.
They might be upper teens.
Depending on how some things go, they basically need the Rams to lose.
Yeah.
In order to make it in. So they still have a shot.
Yeah, they need a lot of help. There's a lot of teams that need a lot of help. So that's going to bring us to the your playoff predictor.
Now I've went ahead and filled this out already with my picks for the next 2 weeks, so to speak. So that's the first one. and then we'll erase that and then put in your picks for this week, and then just kind of make a prediction for next week, just for on paper.
Yeah.
So in this one, I have, and this is with both week 18 already done as well. But I did my picks for this, and then I did my picks for next week. So this actually has the Ravens at number 1, San Francisco at number 1. And it's got the Bills beating the Dolphins. That's the headliner, because the Dolphins losing their last 2 games against the Ravens, and then the Bills. They play the Bills. And then Kansas City gets number 3 because they lost the head-to-head to the Bills.
Yep.
And then the Texans would win the division at 10-7. And then the Jags would get the last spot. The Dolphins will get back to 6. And the Browns, I have the Browns losing the last week because it's a bye week for them. So they're not going to get any worse than this. And the Ravens, having already beaten the Dolphins, they weren't going to get the division. So that's why I have them at 11-6. So that's the main thing for that one. And then the Dolphins losing out, and then the Jags winning in the last week over the Titans to get in. But if they lose that game, then the Colts would be in. So on this sheet. And then on the NFC side, you got the Eagles at number 2, the Lions at number 3, and the Bucks. I got Bucks at 9-8 because I feel like the last game they'll be on their bye week as well. They're not going to catch Lions or Eagles, and they would have already wrapped up the division.
Yeah.
I believe. So I have them just going 9-8. Then of course, if the Rams lose out, that would have Green Bay going in. Could have the Rams losing to who was it?
You have them winning this game versus the Giants.
Oh yeah, but then lose at San Fran. I have San Fran winning because of still wanting to get number 1 seed.
Yeah.
So that's why I have San Fran winning that one. They want to stay ahead of the Eagle, get that bye week.
Yeah.
For them. So
they'll need it because Purdy's banged up. So
yeah. And my concern with the Ravens being number 1, and basically taking the last week off, I would say, against the Steelers, I'm a little worried about that, because not only will they have that week off, they'll have the bye week, so they won't play for like 3 weeks. So I don't know, maybe I feel like if you don't play for that long, that kind of hurts your momentum, and I think that gets a lot of number 1 seeds. And I think it's happened to them before too. You get that number 1 seed, and then you don't play for 3. Whereas you get like the Browns, red hot, and then the Dolphins or something like that, where they just came off a game, they're battle tested, they've been playing the last couple weeks, and they're ready to go, and then you come out flat as the number 1. So a little worried about that, but that's what I have right here.
Yeah.
So let me do reset. And we'll go to 17.
All right.
So you had the Dolphins?
I went Miami.
And then Bills?
Buffalo. Yeah. And then I went, didn't I pick Chicago?
I'm not sure. This game doesn't really mean anything, except for maybe the Atlanta, but
I did go Falcons. Chicago. Yeah, I went Chicago because they're at Soldier Field. And
yeah. And then Tennessee and
I went
Houston?
I went Texans. Yeah, I went Texans.
And then Raiders and Colts? Carolina and Jackson.
I went Carolina.
Rams and Giants. Rams. Cardinals, Philly. Saints and Buccaneers.
San Francisco.
And then
Seahawks.
Pitt and Seahawks.
Yep. And
Chargers
and
Denver.
I went Broncos.
Okay. And
Chiefs.
And then Green Bay, Minnesota.
Then I went Green Bay.
Okay. So this is right now they has the Dolphins at the number 1, and not much change in the that, except for the Rams are still in it, and of course you got the Bills in it.
Yeah,
that's a big one for them. Okay, so week 18.
Obviously
Seattle,
Seahawks.
Arizona, yep, and then Pittsburgh and Baltimore. Okay, Baltimore's still playing for that number 1 seed.
Tampa Bay.
Ooh. Yeah.
I'm going to go Cleveland.
I think Cleveland's still going to want to play to stay in the 5th seed.
Yeah.
I think they would rather play the Colts than the Chiefs. So
yeah,
I can see the Browns And even with their backups, the Browns could probably still win this one. So
yeah, Detroit,
Detroit,
Green Bay.
This is the big one.
That's a hard one.
I think I went with the Texans on that one. But if the Colts right now, the Colts are sitting ahead. But obviously, the winner of this one wins the division, based on what happens this week or what we pick for this week. Minshew Magic versus Stroud Magic. That's a tough one, man. I went with the Texans. I like their defense a little bit better. But it's a tough one, and it's in Indianapolis.
We'll go with the Texans.
Okay.
Chiefs.
And then we got Chiefs.
Denver.
Denver.
I'm gonna go Miami. I think Miami can beat Buffalo.
Okay. So Buffalo's still in, but it would put the Dolphins at the number 1 seed.
We're gonna go with the Patriots.
Okay. I went with the Jets, but who cares about that one?
I'm going to New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Philly.
And let's see. Philly could still I would put Philly at number. Well, that's without 49ers. So the 49ers. Rams.
They do play spoiler a lot, though.
Yeah. So the 49ers need this to get number 1 seed, and then the Rams need it to actually make the playoffs. So that could potentially be a huge game.
Yeah, that's going to be a big game. Obviously, I'm going Tennessee because Trevor will still be out, so I'm going to go Tennessee, and obviously I'm going Cowboys.
Now that game may be Washington.
Think Cowboys
because let's see. Philly, where's Philly? Just for funsies, let's go Giants. So Philly's going to need to win that game. I was curious because if Philly didn't need to win,
they probably the 5 seed.
Yeah, because they would lose the division to Dallas if Dallas won. But if Philly's already won their game, I got to see what their time schedule is. If Philly's already won, this game's not going to matter to Dallas. So, that's kind of where it's at.
Yeah.
So there might be some intrigue there as far as the NFC East at the end there.
Yeah.
But there you go. So you basically have the Dolphins at the number 1 seed, Ravens at 2, Chiefs, and then Texans, and then you got the Colts in at 9 and 8. Browns pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Then over here you still got Seattle in, and then Green Bay instead of the Rams, basically.
Yeah.
So that's that. Okay, so now, just for funsies, we're gonna see how do the Broncos make it.
Okay.
So we'll just do just go. Some of these don't matter. I think the Buffalo will have to lose. I'm pretty sure. Don't care about that one. Texans will have to lose. Colts will have to lose to the Raiders. We'll put the Jags losing for good measure. We'll put the Rams in there. Philly, NFC doesn't really matter too much. Have Pittsburgh lost, get them out of the conversation. Denver needs to win. That'll get them at 8 and 8. I kind of need the Bengals to lose, but also let's see if we can make the Broncos the division champs just for fun. Well, I'll change that so to see if they even get. Well, let's see if they can get into wild card first. And then over here we do that. Make sure Steelers are out, and then make sure the Bengals are out of it. Let's do that, and then this one is probably the tough one. One of these teams got to get knocked out, so we'll do the Texans. I think one of the AFC West or South teams got to win. So, and then the other one get lost, and then with that, then we have Denver has to beat Las Vegas, which Las Vegas if they win, then they're in. But then we need Buffalo to still lose. I don't know if that matters. We'll let Buffalo stay in there. We'll see what happens. We got to keep the Jags out. So the Jags win. The Jags will get the division. So I need the Jags to lose. And then, pretty much if the Bills win, doesn't matter. If everyone else loses, the Bills game doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But that's how the Broncos do it. And then just for funsies, could they win the division? Yes.
Yeah, if we lose out, you win.
And then if we lose, or if Las Vegas wins, they could win the division, and the Chiefs would be out entirely. Well, that's craziness.
That's not a scenario I want to see happen.
So pretty much, yeah. In order for Denver to win the division, that would mean the Chiefs are basically out of it for the most part. Let's see even if the Bills lose, just so many scenarios that we'll need. It's just not viable. But last week it all came together, right? Everyone we needed to lose lost last week.
Yeah.
But then we lost. So that was the killer, is that we did everything else actually worked perfectly last week for us, except maybe the Bills winning, like because they won by a field goal at the end of the game. Outside of that, we had every single one of the teams that we needed to lose. The Colts, Texans, Jaguars, everyone. But then we lost. So there's still some hope. But every week I'm feeling less and less confident about this Raiders and winning over the Raiders, because Raiders are beating up people right now. So a little worried about that one. So it might be more of a chance of the Raiders getting it than the Broncos, but we'll see what happens. So just a little bit of fun seeing the predictor. There is a chance. And, there's a chance for the Eagles to get ahead. There's a chance. I don't know if the Lions had. I mean, Lions would have to win out, and both the other teams lose out. I don't really see that happening.
I don't either.
Especially with the Cowboys would probably take a number one seed if those two teams lost out over the Lions. So
because they hold the tiebreaker.
Yeah, and so that's this week. We'll get our final playoff predictions next week. That'll be fun. And then we'll have a schedule next week too, because they don't even have a schedule up for next week, because they're waiting to see how all this falls out. Because that the Texans and Colts game is most likely going to be for the division.
Yeah,
there's a good chance of it, anyways. So that's probably going to be the primetime game. Depending on certain things happening, the Denver and Raiders game can matter. The same thing with Buffalo and Miami. Buffalo could still potentially win the division. They need to win out because they play, and the Dolphins. Dolphins. They play the Ravens this week. The Dolphins lose, and then they play Buffalo next week. Like, the Bills have a great chance to win the division still. And they beat up on the Dolphins last time they played. So
that's true.
Just gotta take great business, and the that's it. So
get the turnovers to a minimum, and they'll
Yeah. So, and then what will that say about the Dolphins going in the playoffs, losing to two playoff teams, to the top teams in the AFC?
Yeah.
And they're limping into the playoffs basically. So I think a lot of the stories will come back. How good are they really, and all that good stuff. A lot of doubt will be in there, and then they go most likely, and the Dolphins will go against the Chiefs if that happens, most likely.
Yeah.
So, and the Browns will get the AFC South team, which is going to be very interesting. So we'll see what happens there.
So there's a lot of scenarios up in the air still.
There really is. It's awesome. I love it.
You don't know what's going to happen.
So that's what I got for this week. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we could look at some tiebreakers if you want, unless you want to wrap it up, but it's up to you.
Well, I was going to talk about what's going on the channel, where you'll see Joe next. The very next thing, Joe, you're going to see Joe on is Military Monday. We are doing that Tommy Lee Jones movie, Something in the Park. And but that is 10 a.m. Central. You'll see Joe there. And then Tuesday. No, did I skip something? Yeah. Next thing you'll see him is Tuesday night for Papa Joe Gamer After Dark. And I'm not sure what he's playing, but it'll be interesting. Actually, I do. I think we're doing DCUO. And
I had to get out of
then
that game. It's too much like a job. As all MMOs are.
Yeah, same way with WoW. I haven't done much in WoW for a long time. And then Wednesday morning, he will most likely be on Uncharted, on making fun of my falling off the cliff all the time, which I tend to do a lot. But that is Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. on Pop Culture Minefield. And then we've got the 2024 wrap up, or the 2024 State of the Atmosphere, first one of the year, and seeing what movies are coming out, and do our New Year's resolutions. You'll find myself and Knock there, and probably Jed and maybe Wade. But then Thursday, we've got Brothers Hack the Matrix with Highlander, and that's where they go over the week's headlines. And it's a really good show. Followed by that night at 10, he has another Papa Joe Gamer After Dark. I'm not sure what he's playing. This was last week's, obviously. But that's at 10 o'clock on this channel. And then Friday morning, he is back with me over on Pop Culture Minefield, where we're playing Baldur's Gate, which he's been playing and enjoying a lot. And I know the fact we're finally going to go after Gortash, because I figured out what was wrong with last week about why I wasn't able to, what I missed to shut down the machine so I can shut down the Steel Watchers. So we're going after Gortash, and then after that we'll go after Orem, and then we have the big fight with the Elder Brain. So, but that brings us to Saturday, where we have Sketching Privateer, where you can watch Joe's comic book come together, and it's watch him drawing it. And it's really an interesting experience to see how a independent comic creator works on bringing his creation to life. Which, of course, brings us right around next Sunday to the show.
Yeah, we'll get to see what the final scenarios are, and we'll see what we'll check out what happened in the semifinals of the college playoffs, and we'll showcase what two teams are in the Division II playoffs, because that's happening the day before it's happening the 7th, I believe it is. And then the NCAA championships on the 8th, that Monday night, and then of course that whole weekend we'll have the final regular season of the NFL going into the semifinals next week. So yeah, we'll get to check it out. I don't think there's any Saturday night games. I think it's all Sundays, right? I don't think they do Saturday night games on the final week.
Yeah, well, I think when I looked, it was all to be determined for week 18.
Really? Well, yeah, but I think it's all on Sundays, though.
Yeah, it's all flex. They got the team, they got who's playing what, but they just don't have times yet. So yeah,
they're definitely waiting to see. Yeah,
it's all showing on Sunday. So
the Jacksonville and Tennessee game, you can get tickets as low as $18. Seattle and Arizona, as low as $13. And Tampa Bay and Carolina, you can get tickets as low as $12.
Hey, it's perfect time to go see football if you're in those areas.
The most expensive game, tickets as low as $286 is the most expensive one I see, and that's the Buffalo at Miami game. So yeah, there you go. You can tell how important a game is based on the ticket prices.
Yeah, I think we can get. I think I can get like 125 is what it is for the Chargers game.
Let's see, Dallas and Washington at FedEx. I could go for as low as $52. It's not bad.
No, it's not. But check your local area. You never know. You might be able to score a good deal on the game. Because I know it was. I forgot what game it was. There was one game that they were going for like 45 cents.
I think I know what you're talking. I remember there being like a super low price. I just don't remember what game it was.
I don't remember who it was, but yeah, there was some team you could get tickets up in the nosebleed section for 45 cents, and I'm like, oh, come on! I would pay 45 cents to go see two bad teams just for the experience of being in the stadium.
Let's see. It was the Panthers game.
Yeah.
It was the Panthers and trying to see Falcons. Wait, I think.
Yeah, but either way, it
Something
would
like
they
that.
were
Yeah,
they're practically free.
45 cents was the best one. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, I know.
That's gonna get a team to London. I mean, that's
yep. That's how a team gets shipped off to London.
You want to make a team go to London? That's how it's gonna happen. No attendance. They will show up in London.
Oh yeah, they will.
And then
got to open up. We got to have a team in Germany eventually.
Yeah, Germany and Mexico City,
and Brazil.
Yeah.
Sao Paulo will probably have a team too. Then it'll truly be a world championship.
Yeah, it's gonna spread, man. Football's spreading. That's what they want to do. They want to rival soccer. That's what they got to do.
Take over that wimpy game of soccer.
And another pass. And another pass. And another pass. I was thinking that Family Guy episode where they're like just passing it back and forth. And
those soccer fans, don't take it out on Joe's channel. The opinions are my own.
Yeah.
Joe's.
Our opinions do not reflect the values of this company and brand.
Yes. Yeah.
We use that like little the scroll like Pat McAfee show does. And,
oh yeah.
Please don't sue us. The scroll.
All right. So that brings us to the outro, which I can't find. So we will play the intro again. So
appreciate you guys coming out.
Yeah, thank you guys for all the comments in the chat and the interaction. And we will see you next time on the pregame party. Have a good one.
Peace.